Understanding the other side of any investment is essential to knowing if what you are doing is right or wrong. Today, we're going to take a look at a bear against Tesla, and see what their rationale is, what their logic is for their investment. After all, we know the bullish thesis. We understand the gross margin. We understand the first mover approach. We understand all the moats. We understand all the S curves. We understand Elon Musk. We understand all the talent they're hiring, right? We get all these things, all these data points, right? I mean, you can go on and on, but we don't always get all of the clear bear arguments. And so I thought today we could jump on and review this bear who came on CNBC and see what they have to say. What's their point of view? Do they have any valid points? Are they bringing any data forth that isn't cherry picked and actually has some validity? So let's take a look. We're going to look at this long-term bear on Tesla who claims that he will be right. So let's take a look.
Let's bring in Roth Capital's Craig Irwin. $85 price target, neutral rating on the company. What's leading to this surge that we've seen lately, Craig?
So there's two things going on. The first, I would call out that, Tesla's obviously, a very successful company in EVs. EVs are inevitable. They created the market, high quality. It's a darling. People want to own it. So any good news, they want to buy a little bit more, and it's a positive trade. It's a momentum trade. Second thing is, and I think people are misreading this, but on June 3rd, we had the announcement that they would future sales of the Model 3 rear-wheel drive vehicle, right, which is their highest volume vehicle, is going to be eligible for $7,500 in federal credits under IRA versus $3,750, just prior to that, which was on for a space of a number of weeks. Obviously better subsidy levels are good, and there's been kind of news that Panasonic wants to increase its battery manufacturing in the U.S. In the space of these recent days. But it appears there may have been the first detention of batteries coming into the U.S. under UFLPA, and that would be a major complication. And there's also,
what does that mean?
So December 2021, UFLPA was passed. It handles the sensitive issue of forced labor in product content and certain Chinese regions. So it's the policy to exclude all products made with forced labor. And CBP only did their first enforcement in June of 22 for solar, right? My colleague Phil Shen did some really impeccable work around this. This looks like we now probably have our first enforcement action for batteries. And sort of the person raised the flag, his name is Richard Mujica. He was intimately involved in the first Chinese OEM to have this issue for U.S. customers. So, there's going to be a lot of changes. I don't know if it's good. I don't think this is. I think this
Craig,
is bad.
Craig, listen. When you come on with us, I always respect your obstinacy, but $85 price target still. I mean,
all right. Before David Faber kind of, points out how wrong this guy has been nonstop. Besides how painful that was to listen to, all the ahs, ahs, and all that, and the fact that he really so this whole run so far, he's saying is because there's optimism and people are getting excited and they don't want to miss out, and so they're buying the stock. Okay, like that's a problem to have. And then he says the other thing that he thinks people are misunderstanding is the fact that Tesla now, for the Model 3s, are getting the full tax incentive instead of half of it, as if that would be something bad for Tesla. Okay, so this is your bear thesis so far, is that they're getting the full tax credit now, and that people are getting more bullish on Tesla, so they want to buy the stock. That's it so far. And then he's going into this whole battery detention thing that's happening, in I guess in the port of one of the ports in California, but they don't know if this is Tesla. They don't know if this is some other manufacturer. We know that Elon Musk and the team, they're very adamant on where batteries are made, how they get them, etc. And from my understanding, I'm not sure how many batteries get shipped in to United States for Tesla. I don't know this. I'm not going to pretend like I've looked into all of this and I know exactly where every vehicle gets its batteries from, but I'm not quite sure that's the case. And with all these other OEMs building electric vehicles and trying to expand, etc., why do you just assume it's Tesla? I don't know. But if that's your whole argument, your whole thesis on why it's going to go down to $85 a share, that's it. This short term hiccup, even if it was Tesla, this detention thing, okay, like that's not exactly the best thing to go on, especially if you're a long term investor, especially when we're talking about all these S curves. We're talking about market leaders. We know Cybertruck's coming out. We see what they're doing with the FSD. Elon Musk is back focused on Tesla. It seems a little crazy to have a whole $85 target. And the only thing you can talk about right now as a potential bear thesis is that some batteries at some port for some manufacturer, we don't know, we don't even know if it's for electric vehicles, was detained. That's it. That's what you got so far. You've had about 3 minutes on CNBC, and that's all you came up with. You talked about the enthusiasm, the exuberance for Tesla stock right now. You talked about how now Model 3s get the full tax credit. And then you talked about some detention of some batteries. We don't even know the quantity. He didn't even provide the quantity. We don't know who it was for. We don't know anything. And we don't even know how long they're being detained for. And they're detained. That doesn't mean there's anything actually wrong, right? This could be one of those things where you're detained 24 hours. Okay, then we let it go. So that's it. That's your whole bear thesis in the 3 minutes you've had so far on CNBC. That's ridiculous. Let's continue.
What's got to happen for you to be right here?
I'm going to be right. I'm going to be right. So remember,
How do you know you're
I'm going to be right. I'm going to be right because that's all it takes. We don't need facts. We don't need proof. We don't need data. You just got to say, I'm going to be right. You're going to click your heels 3 times and then you're right.
going to be right? What are you going to be right about? Tell me.
There's about 100 EVs that are coming to market this year, 100 new EV models, and they're going to pressure Tesla significantly into the back.
That's what it is. The competition's coming. Man, we've never heard that one before, right? I think ever since I've been investing in Tesla, I've been hearing the competition's coming, right? The Chevy Bolt, that was gonna be a Tesla killer, right? Ooh, the Hummer, oh, that's done a lot. The Mustang Mach-E, yeah. Oh wait, aren't those sales declining? Okay. The F-150 Lightning. Oh, didn't they stop production of that? And sure, you can make excuses for all of these, right? Oh, they're trying to update the lines for the F-150. Oh, the Mustang Mach-E chip delays. Oh, the Hummer is same thing, chip delays, battery delays, whatever, right? Whatever excuse people want to make. But meanwhile, we know that there's lots of Mach-E's out there in inventory. We know Hummer sold 2 EVs, in last quarter. We know that the Chevy Bolt's being discontinued. We know that, like, I mean, just look at it out there, right? Tesla Model Y is the best-selling vehicle of an entire world. Best vehicle, not EVs, best vehicle in the entire world last quarter. And they're probably going to do the same thing this quarter. So, yeah, the competition's coming. 100 new models because that's what matters, right? This guy's stuck on hardware. That's all he thinks about. Oh, new form factor. That's all we care about. Brother, we got to move on. It's all about the software. It's all about brand. It's all about reliability. It's all about the people who know what they're doing. That's what you want to buy. This guy's he's living in an alternate reality, in my opinion.
Back into the air, just like we saw last year, right? You know, Tesla's valued at a massive premium to Toyota. Sells a tiny fraction of the vehicles. They don't have anything that Toyota doesn't already have.
You're right. Tesla doesn't have the brand of Tesla, right? They don't have the massive lead when it comes to electric vehicles. They don't have the massive lead when it comes to software. They don't have the world's leading selling vehicle in the entire world. They don't have the largest ability to produce electric vehicles. They don't have the best gross margins. They don't have Elon Musk. They don't have the best engineers in the world. They don't have the largest AI bots in the world distribution fleet, which is 3 to 4 to 500,000 people using full self-driving beta, right? They don't have any of that. Okay. They don't have the only vehicle that's actually selling in these other markets that are declining, right? Europe is essentially in a recession right now. They have 2 negative GDPs back to back. And yet Tesla is selling more vehicles than ever there. Look at the numbers in Spain, in Italy, in Sweden, in Norway, in Germany. It's insane. You're right. Tesla doesn't have any of that. Or Toyota has all that, right? Toyota's got all that going on. Toyota's not the one that, just got rid of their leader, Toyota, right? They didn't just do that because his direction was going the wrong way. Toyota also has all these electric vehicle plants all over the world, right? Yeah, they do. Toyota also has the #1 selling vehicle in the world, right? Wait a minute. No, they don't. They don't have any of that. What are you talking about, man? This guy says this all the time. Toyota doesn't have anything Tesla doesn't have. What are you on, right? What kind of special substance are you on that you believe this, right? I would be more inclined to agree with him if he said something like, Toyota has the ability to catch up quickly and they have the expertise and the know-how and they've done even something like that. I don't agree with it, but that would at least be a more accurate, and it'd be the same folly that we've seen with Ford and GM, whatever, and they're all learning how difficult this is. But no, he decides to say that Toyota or Tesla doesn't have anything. Toyota doesn't have anything, nothing, apparently. And so that's why Toyota is the leader in EVs. Right? That's why they're the leader in AI and in software. Right? Like, what is he on?
Right. So what they have is, a focus exclusively on EVs. And they have a story around robo-taxis. But that story is nothing but a story. We're not seeing any taxis anytime soon. Other people could take as aggressive positions in the technology. I, like many, just find it a little bit scary when you have these apparitions in front of you causing false braking, in the FSD system. So, it's a story stock. It's a story.
Okay, this I really get annoyed with this whole story stock when it comes to Tesla. It's not about a story, right? When you say it's a story, you're essentially saying it's a myth. It's hyperbole, right? It's not going to happen. It's just a story. It's a feel good thing. But that's BS, right? Because you could say that about Elon's whole career, right? You can go all the way back to when he talked about paying for things over the internet. Oh no, that's crazy. Why would we ever do that? Rockets landing themselves and being reusable. Oh no, that's impossible. That can't be done. Moving away from ICE to electric vehicles. No way. That's never going to happen. A mass-produced EV. No, can't happen. That's, again, a story stock. Now with full self-driving, right? Same thing. No, can't happen, right? It's a story stock. It's, robo-taxis in the future, whatever. That's the only reason people are buying it, because it's this mythical thing that's going to happen. Meanwhile, there's probably about 500,000 people in North America with FSD beta right now. All right. And we see what the improvements are. Are we there yet? No, we're not. But that's how innovation works, right? You set a target, you have a game plan, you have a goal to get to, and then you strive towards it. All right. Like, nobody's sitting there saying that NVIDIA is a story stock when it comes to AI, because we haven't really seen true AI out there. No, that's not what's happening. Like, we see what the future is. We try to get ahead of that curve and we try to go for it. Apple with their new headset, Vision Pro, right? Maybe it'll be a dud, maybe it won't. But you don't call it a story stock because they're trying to, forge new ground and they're trying to make breakthroughs and they have a vision. That's what you're investing for. You're investing for that delta. Like, that's the whole point of investing in tech, right? If you don't like the idea of companies talking about what the future is, what the vision is, and what they're trying to solve and accomplish, and new tech and new breakthroughs they're trying to go into, then go invest in Colgate. Go invest in Warren Buffett companies, right? But not in tech. I don't understand this. And even then, everything that you could say is a story for Elon Musk has come to fruition. All right? Forget about timetables. Ignore that. It's all come to fruition. That's all you really need to know at the end of the day.
Stories top people
Yeah,
love
but the
to-
story's been out there for a really long.
Okay, that was it. And then you can see David Faber coming in talking about how the story's been out there for a long time. And it has. That's such a valid point. We have talked about Elon Musk and everything being a story stock for so long. Everybody knows the story, right? And the story evolves, right? There's next levels to it. Initially, the story was about making a mass electric vehicle for the masses, right? And the story was that the whole world will transition over into EVs. And that was a big story, whatever. One, it was a big story because you wouldn't be able to get a EV affordable, right? That wasn't going to be a thing. Then two, you wouldn't be able to create in mass volumes, because the problem by doing mass volumes with electric vehicles, you wouldn't have the market. People wouldn't want to buy them. So then you're just going to go bankrupt because you're going to build all these things. No one's going to want to buy them, which is happening to Lucid, right? You see this with Lucid. But that was the argument against Tesla, all right? And then guess what? Well, they built a mass market EV. People were there to buy them. Okay, so that happened. But then you still have the story of the fact that the whole world's going to transition to EVs, right? That's never going to happen. People like their coal, their oil burning vehicles. They like going to dirty gas stations. That's the thing, right? It's manly. It's what we do. It's the cool way. It's the thing. Except now we see every OEM, every manufacturer trying to pivot as fast as they can to electric vehicles. Okay, so those two stories didn't come to fruition. Okay, or those two stories did come to fruition, right? So they weren't made up. All right, so then we have robotaxis, we have FSD, all that. And we are in the middle of that right now, maybe even closer to the end of that coming to fruition, right? For FSD beta going to FSD, and then we'd be at the beginning of robotaxi. So I'm not saying we're there yet, but we're getting there. It's happening. We have all these people using it. And then what's the new part of the story? Well, the new part of the story is Optimus, right? And we see how fast that has progressed. So yes, if a company isn't showing you what's next and where you're going to go from a tech perspective, then you're probably not investing in the best possible tech company, right? A lot of these companies are very quiet about what they're going to do, right? When was the last time Microsoft actually innovated, right? They had a whole decade where they did nothing, and then they decided to get into cloud. And okay, so they had finally a new growth lever there in cloud. Okay, great. Did they really innovate, or were they a Me Too company, right? Because AWS is the one that innovated there, not Azure. All right, and then with AI, what are they doing? Well, Me Too, or they're a buy the talent, buy the tech with OpenAI. So they're not actually innovating. Apple, at the very least, is putting out Vision Pro out there. They're showing you where they're going to next. At the very least, they're taking a shot and they're doing things from within rather than being a Me Too company, which they kind of are compared to Facebook. But I would say that their approach is probably better than Facebook. But they're at least doing things. And here's Tesla laying out the roadmap for you way ahead of time, and people just want to call it a story stock. They are showing you the roadmap. It's your decision if you think that the guy who has been able to do the impossible over and over and over again and has had these teams that he's been able to put together is going to be able to do it yet again and yet again and yet again. And that's why you have the phrase, don't bet against Elon, right? So it's up to you. But that's the bear case right now, right? That's one bear in their case, at least. And for me, when I compare my bullish case versus that bear case, I don't see anything that can, take me off of my bullish side, right? $85, good luck. And if it ever gets there, hey, I'll give you your kudos and I'll be buying up left and right. You know why? Because it won't change my bullish case. Something fundamental would have to happen. We'd have to get to a point where FSD is never going to happen. Elon Musk gives up on it. Optimus is the dud. But even then, just with the electric vehicles and just with the profitability of those electric vehicles, right? We can still get to a, $4 trillion company. So that's where I sit. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. Love you all. Peace.